Are you enjoying what you've seen so far in yesterday and one session today?
Really am. Yeah, it's so fun to get all these guys together, from Europe, our college kids, our CHL prospects. As you guys can see, there's a ton of skill, there's a ton of talent out there, so it's exciting.
How much improvement do you tend to see, like the guys you drafted last year? Yeah. You've had enough for a year. How much improvement do you tend to see in that 1 year, generally?
I think a lot. We see it throughout the year, but I think part of that is just the comfort level that they have with the organization, like our staff coming in. That's the nice part about this camp is that they can come and get comfortable with the facilities, figuring out little things like how to get to their gym, how to get to the locker room, all that stuff can be a little overwhelming at times for your players. So it's good. Yeah.
In the days that follow after a draft, you get 11 players. In your role, what are the next steps? Is it touching base? How do you handle the initial days of this?
Yeah, so we, our job is to initially build relationships with our players. Our development staff, and they do a great job. We stay in contact with them regularly. We go to visit them, whether they're in Europe or college or junior. And we really try to, formulate a relationship quickly so that we can help them become the best players.
When it comes to Yuri Kulich, what are your thoughts on the skill set there? And do you imagine the Q being the best option for him now that Cape Breton has his rights? Is that still a conversation that needs to be had?
Yeah, I think that is a conversation that management's going to have. For all of our players, what's best for them. But from what I've seen so far, his attitude's great. He can play for other players.
Adam, what is the situation right now in your mind for development with the Russia situation? With the guys you drafted, trying to get them to your visas, guys you're scouting, guys you just drafted, how all-encompassing is that? How difficult is it being drafted?
There's always, challenges in the job. In that situation, we've got a scout that's in Russia that's also in communication with our development staff, and he does a great job staying in touch with our prospects over there. We're still in touch with them regularly, the ones that can speak English, we are, and the ones that can't, through Zoom with a translator or by text, and then they Google translate it. So it's good. We're finding ways to connect with players, which is our job. But it's been great.
And from your perspective, what allowed Mateo to acclimate to college so well as a freshman last year?
Well, for me, he's such a focused kid. He's detailed. He shows up at the gym there at 6 a.m. He's here regularly. He comes in from St. Catharines, trains in our gym in our facility. So he's very focused, and I think that goes a long way with a player like that to maximize his abilities. And it is impressive. It's very impressive to hear that.
We don't get to see Savoy here, obviously, this week because of his work attack, but just in your mind, what jumps out? You guys make that pick of time. Be looking forward to seeing something.
Yeah, well, I played with his coach, Patrick, and as soon as we made the pick, I called him, and he just raved about him both as a person and as a player. So I'm very excited. Obviously, he's a talented offensive player. I've watched him for a while now, but I haven't drafted him, so I'm just excited about that.
What's the wow factor watching film? Seeing him up close.
I'm sorry?
Awesome. Just seeing him close watching film, what stands out?
I mean, his skill set, his fluidity with the puck. He looks like a tremendous skater to me. And again, he's a player that, my initial impression is he's just loves the game and is dedicated to the game. He's skating 5 times a week back home. And at this time of year, depending on where you are, in the world, it's difficult to find ice. And he does that, and it's great, and I think he's really stood out.
When you have a player like Savoy, who maybe is 5'9", 5'10", is it more important to be working on his core and his legs, to get him, the talent he has, but to develop him that way, to make him stronger where he's not going to get knocked out?
Well, I think that's part of what this camp is about, is bringing our recently drafted players in and allowing our performance staff to speak to them, evaluate them, or in a way I wouldn't say an evaluation way, but you know, see where they are strength-wise, like you said, see where they can have room to improve, and after they go through that process, they're in communication with our development staff and formulate a plan.
When you look at the role you're in, 3 years ago, you and I were in Lethbridge watching Dylan Cousins.
Yeah.
You know, here he is today watching.
It's pretty cool that he came in today.
Yeah, what's that mean to you to see the guy go through the process already, become an NHLer, and still want to be part of this again?
Well, I think it just speaks to his character. I think it speaks to, you know, the positive sort of culture that, you know, Kevin and Donnie have created. You know, it's excellent. Like, and personally, for my role, you know, anytime I get to see someone that, you know, I work with and went to a junior game or flew out to Lethbridge to see and work with them intimately to see him contributing in the lineup, you know, that's any small bit of like help like they're giving them along the way, like it's very rewarding.
With Isaac Rosine and Alexander Kisakov, look like they're going to make Rochester at the start of the year, I would imagine, based on their situations. You know, what sort of challenges do you see them facing? They had different development years, but certainly younger players who are going to face that challenge, much like Jack and JJ did.
Yeah. You know, I think not unique to those players, just any kind of young player that transitions to pro, there is a learning curve, and Seth has done a great job. I mean, you know, you think about Jack, and not last year, but the whole year that he missed some in the Ontario Hockey League, and you know, I think that was a big year for him to kind of get acclimated to pro hockey, learn, you know, the fundamentals and the way that we do things, and he came back and he had a great year, and you know, that's the expectation of the whole, you know, if anywhere young players, not just the second league.
What do you see in Declan McDonald's situation? You know, obviously extending him the invite after he didn't sign with Tampa. How have you seen him grow recently?
Well, we had obviously we're out, like our scouts, you know, that watch him, you know, all these players, you know, have really positive, you know, feedback, and you know, he's a local player that I knew. You know, when I first retired, I helped out with younger players at actually that age level, the O2 age level, so he was 11 or 12, but you know, I coached him, and you know, so I know his history, and know the family, and so does Kevin, and you know, but that's not necessarily why he's here. He's here because you know, he's a good player, and he's someone that organization likes, and you know, he's gonna have an opportunity.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Adam.